The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Strive not to be a success but rather to be of value. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. The best way to predict the future is to create it. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. The purpose of our lives is to be happy. Life is what happens, and when you're busy making other plans, get busy living, nor get busy dying. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. It is never too late to be what you might have been. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. The only source of knowledge is experience. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, and that is all. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you've imagined. The best revenge is massive success. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail. Turn your wounds once into wisdom. Everything you can imagine is real. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. The power of imagination makes us infinite. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The unexamined life is not worth living. Be cool yourself. Everyone else is already taken. If you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. We become what we think about. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. If you are not willing to risk the usual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. The harder I work, the luckier I get. Opportunity does not knock. It presents itself when you beat down the door. Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it. If you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. 80% of success is showing up. Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. If you want to achieve greatness, stop asking for permission. Things work out best for those who make the best of how things work out. To live a creative life, we must lose our fear of being wrong. Trust because you are willing to accept the risk, not because it's safe or certain. Good things come to people who wait, but better things come to those who go out and get them. If you do what you always did, you will get what you always got. Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was ending, he turned into a butterfly. Successful entrepreneurs are givers and not takers of positive energy. Whenever you see a successful person, you only see the public glories, never the private sacrifices to reach them. Opportunities don't happen, you create them. Try not to become a person of success, but rather try to become a person of value. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. If you don't value your time, neither will others. Stop giving away your time and talents. Value what you know and start charging for it. A successful man is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at him. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny, to do, and then do it. If you're going through hell, then keep going. The ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Don't raise your voice, improve your argument. What seems to us as bitter trials are often blessings in disguise. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. The distance between insanity and genius is measured only by success. When you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you. I believe that the only courage anybody ever needs is the courage to follow your own dreams. No masterpiece was ever created by a lazy artist. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. It is hard to fail, nay, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Do one thing every day that scares you. It's not what you look at that matters. It's what you see. The road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same. Fall 7 times and stand up 8. The best dreams happen when you're awake. Let us make our future now, and let us make our dreams tomorrow's reality. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. What we achieve inwardly will change outer reality. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. The greatest discovery of all time is that a person can change his future by merely changing his attitude. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plans, but also believe. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. A creative man is motivated by the desire to achieve, not by the desire to beat others. If you genuinely want something, don't wait for it. Teach yourself to be impatient. Don't let the fear of losing be greater than the excitement of winning. The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. The only way to have a friend is to be one. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Life is 10% what happens to us, and 90% how we react to it. There are no traffic jams along the extra mile. A goal is a dream with a deadline. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. Strive for progress, not perfection. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. The secret to success is to know something nobody else knows. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. We must let go of the life we have planned, so as to accept the one that is waiting for us. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. Do not wait to strike till the iron is hot, but make it hot by striking. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. The future starts today, not tomorrow. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. If you want to make your dreams come true, the first thing you have to do is wake up. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. It's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. Change your thoughts, and you change your world. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. When one door of happiness closes, another opens. But often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. The mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work if it is not open. What you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say. To avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. The future depends on what you do today. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference, that you have lived and lived well. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. First, have a definite, clear, practical ideal, a goal, an objective. Second, have the necessary means to achieve your ends: wisdom, money, materials, and methods. Third, adjust all your means to that end. You cannot swim for new horizons until you have courage to lose sight of the shore. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took any excuse. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. There is only one way to avoid criticism: do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. The only true wisdom is in knowing. You know nothing. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. If you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. The root of suffering is attachment. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. To keep the body in good health is a duty. Otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our minds strong and clear. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. Where there is love, there is life. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. The time is always right to do what is right. Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is a constant attitude. Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. A question that sometimes drives me hazy. Am I, or are the others, crazy? Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting. a hard battle. The beginning is the most important parts of the work. Courage is knowing what not to fear. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools and because they have to say something. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. The best fighter is never angry. Silence is a source of great strength. To the mind that is still at the whole universe surrenders. He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. An ant on the move does more than a dozing ox. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overall and looks like work. There's a way to do it better. Find it. I never did a day's work in my life. It was all fun. To invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. The value of an idea lies in the using of it. Results. Why, man, I have gotten a lot of results. I know several thousand things that won't work. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Happiness depends upon ourselves. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort and intelligent execution. The energy of the mind is the essence of life. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind, next to honor. Wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow ripening fruit. Poverty is the parent of revolution and crime. All persons ought to endeavor to follow what is right, and not what is established. To be conscious that you are ignorant is a great step to knowledge. The secret of success is constancy to purpose. Man is not the creature of circumstances. Circumstances are the creatures of men. Nurture your mind with great thoughts. To believe in the heroic makes heroes. Action may not always bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action. What we learn with pleasure we never forget. The journey is the reward. Not all those who wander are lost. Courage is found in unlikely places. Even the smallest person can change the course of the future. It's the job that's never started, as takes longest to finish. Faithless is he that says farewell, and when the road darkens, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. Little by little one travels far. Do not be too eager to deal out death in judgment, for even the very wise cannot see all ends. The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. There are no strangers here, only friends that you haven't yet met. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Happiness is not in the mere possession of money. It lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of creative effort. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. If you have no critics, you'll likely have no success. A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. Don't be in a hurry to condemn because he doesn't do what you do or think as you think or as fast. There was a time when you didn't know what you know today. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It always seems impossible until it's done. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. Lead from the back in and let others believe they are in front. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. Money won't create success. The freedom to make it will. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small cast does not serve the world, and Huoti, as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. The first step towards success is taken when you refuse to be a captive of the environment in which you first find yourself. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you. For every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Shallow men believe in luck. Strong men believe in cause and effect. Enthusiasm is the mother of effort, and without it, nothing great was ever achieved. Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you imagine. It's only after you've stepped outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. Make improvements, not excuses. Seek respect, not attention. Life is about accepting the challenges along the way, choosing to keep moving forward, and savoring the journey. Do what is right, not what is easy, nor what is popular. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. The past is a place of learning, not a place of living. You are not the victim of the world, but rather the master of your own destiny. It is your choices and decisions that determine your destiny. Pursue what catches your heart, not what catches your eyes. Start each day with a positive thought and a grateful heart. When you do the right thing, you get the feeling of peace and serenity associated with it. Do it again and again. Focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. Focus on your character, not your reputation. Focus on your blessings, not your misfortunes. Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence, cult of fear. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. Continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. Age is an issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. Wrinkles should merely indicate where smiles have been. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you, too, can become great. The man who does not read has no advantage over the man who cannot read. Loyalty to country always. Loyalty to government when it deserves it. Good judgment is the result of experience, and experience the result of bad judgment. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Never argue. With stupid people, they will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, he will not bite you. This is the principal difference between a dog and a man. I can live for 2 months on a good compliment. When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man had learned in 7 years. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing. It was here first. Better to keep your mouth shut and be thought a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes. The difference between the almost right word and the right word is really a large matter. 'Tis the difference between the lightning bug and the lightning. Give every day the chance to become the most beautiful day of your life. Sanity and happiness are an impossible combination. Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. Man is the only animal that blushes or needs to. Get your facts first, then you can distort them as you please. The more I learn about people, the more I like my dog. Clothes make the man. Naked people have little or no influence on society. If you want to be happy, be. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. The two most powerful warriors are patience and time. All happy families are alike. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. If you look for perfection, you'll never be content. Wrong does not cease to be wrong because the majority share in it. True life is lived when tiny changes occur. We can know only that we know nothing, and that is the highest degree of human wisdom. The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity. Art is not a handicraft. It is the transmission of feeling the artist has experienced. If everyone fought for their own convictions, there would be no war. The changes in our life must come from the impossibility to live otherwise than according to the demands of our conscience. A man can live and be healthy without killing animals for food. Therefore, if he eats meat, he participates in taking animal life, merely for the sake of his appetite. Music is the shorthand of emotion. There is no greatness where there is not simplicity, goodness, and truth. The best stories don't come from good versus bad, but good versus good. Happiness does not depend on outward things, but on the way we see them. The strongest of all warriors are these two, time and patience. To sin is a human business. To justify sins is a devilish business. It's all God's will. You can die in your sleep, and God can spare you in battle. Anything. 'Tis better and than lies and deceit. Spring is the times of plans and projects, a quiet, secluded life in the country, with the possibility of being useful to people to whom it is easy to do good, and who are not accustomed to have it done to them. Then work which one hopes may be of some use. Then rest, nature, books, music, love for one's neighbor, Such is my idea of happiness. I sit on a man's back, choking him and making him carry me, and yet assure myself and others that I am very sorry for him and wish to ease his lot by all possible means, except by getting off his back. The more you know, the less you need. We are all visitors to this time, this place. We are just passing through. Our purpose here is to observe, to learn, to grow, to love, and then we return home. Those who lose dreaming are lost. May you have the hindsight to know where you've been, the foresight to know where you are going, and the insight to know when you have gone too far. A good laugh and a long sleep are the two best cures for anything. You'll never plow a field by turning it over in your mind. May the road rise up to meet you, but may the wind be always at your back. It is often that a person's mouth broke his nose. A kind word never broke anyone's mouth. When you are right, you cannot be too radical. When you are wrong, you cannot be too conservative. Change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. Never, never be afraid to do what's right, especially if the well-being of a person or animal is at stake. Society's punishments are small compared to the wounds we inflict on our soul when we look the other way. The art of leadership is saying no, not yes. It is very easy to say yes. Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. Management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. The quality of a leader is reflected in the standards they set for themselves. A good leader takes a little more than his share of the blame, a little less than his share of the credit. To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. The task of the leader is to get their people from where they are to where they have not been. Leaders think and talk about the solutions. Followers think and talk about the problems. A leader is a dealer in hope. The very essence of leadership is that you have to have a vision. A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. Leadership is not about being in charge. It is about taking care of those in your charge. The challenge of leadership is to be strong, but not rude. Be kind, but not weak. Be bold, but not bully. Be thoughtful, but not lazy. Be humble, but not timid. Be proud, but not arrogant. Have humor, but without folly. I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Most of us spend too much time on what is urgent and not enough time on what is important. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Live out of your imagination, not your history. The main thing is to keep the main thing, the main thing. Start with the end in mind. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. When you show deep empathy toward others, their defensive energy goes down and positive energy replaces it. That's when you can get more creative in solving problems. You have to decide what your highest priorities are and have the courage, pleasantly, smilingly, non-apologetically, to say no to other things. And the way you do that is by having a bigger yes burning inside. Vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, make them. Beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last, you create what you will. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. The golden rule is that there are no golden rules. A government that robs Peter to pay Paul can always depend on the support of Paul. Dancing is a perpendicular expression of a horizontal desire. The liar's punishment is not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Patriotism is your conviction that this country is superior to all others because you were born in it. There are two tragedies in life. One is not to get your heart's desire, the other is to get it. Make it a rule never to give a child a book. You would not read yourself. Without art, the crudeness of reality would make the world unbearable. I am a millionaire. That is my religion. Youth is wasted on the young. The power of accurate observation is commonly called cynicism by those who have not got it. Do not do unto others as you would that they should do unto you. Their tastes may not be the same. Liberty means responsibility. That is why most men dread it. I learned long ago never to wrestle with a pig. You get dirty, and besides, the pig likes it. Hell is full of musical amateurs. Science never solves a problem without creating 10 more. Animals are my friends, and I don't eat my friends. The things most people want to know about are usually none of their business. A fashion is nothing but an induced epidemic. A pessimist is a man who thinks everybody is as nasty as himself and hates them for it. If you can't get rid of the skeleton in your closet, and you'd best teach it to dance. Never wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty, and the pig likes it. When a thing is funny, search it carefully for a hidden truth. What man is capable of the greatest things? He is also capable of the greatest errors. Learning never exhausts the mind. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so a life well used brings happy death. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Being willing is not enough, we must do. Art is never finished, only abandoned. Details make perfection, and perfection is not a detail. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. Poor is the pupil who does not surpass his master. Iron rusts from disuse. Water loses its purity from stagnation. Even so does inaction sap the vigor of the mind. Obstacles cannot crush me. Every obstacle yields to stern resolve. He who is fixed to a star does not change his mind. The painter has the universe in his mind and hands. Time stays long enough for anyone who will use it. Experience is a truer guide than the words of others. It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things. One can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself. Who sows virtue reaps honor. He who wishes to be rich in a day will be hanged in a year. Study without desire spoils the memory, and it retains nothing that it takes in. Where the spirit does not work with the hand, there is no art. Life well spent is long. Tears come from the heart and not from the brain. Once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward, for there you have been. And there you will always long to return. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. A wave is never found alone, but is mingled with the other waves. Knowledge of the past and of the places of the earth is the ornament and food and of the mind of man. All our knowledge has its origins was in our perceptions. Anyone who conducts an argument by appealing to authority is not using his intelligence. He is just using his memory. Intellectual passion drives out sensuality. Nature is the source of all true knowledge. It is easier to resist at the beginning and then at the end. Ask advice from an old man and a young man. The old man for prudence, the young man for action. The poet ranks far below the painter in the representation of visible things, and far below the musician in that of invisible things. Blinding ignorance does mislead us. O wretched mortals, open your eyes. Man has much power of discourse, which for the most part is vain and false. Animals have but little, but it is useful and true, and a small truth is better than a great lie. Nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first understood. Whatever you are, be a good one. Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. My concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. I walk slowly, but I never walk backward. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves. I don't know who my grandfather was. I am much more concerned to know what his grandson will. Versa. You can fool all the people some of the time and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. The best way to destroy an enemy is to make him a friend. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. That's my religion. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. I will prepare, and someday my chance will come. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to what light I have. No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. The things I want to know are in books. My best friend is the man who'll get me a book. I ain't read. Leave nothing for tomorrow. Which can be done today. Public sentiment is everything. With public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. Character is like a tree, and Reputation like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. Folks are usually about as happy as they make their minds up to be. Important principles may and must be inflexible. Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. A house divided against itself it cannot stand. That some achieve great success is proof to all that others can achieve it as well. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep doing so until the end. Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. Stay hungry. Stay foolish. My favorite things in life don't cost any money. It's really clear that the most precious resource we all have is time. Sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. Be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. Creativity is just connecting things. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. The path to success is to take massive, determined action. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. The quality of your life is the quality of your communication. Identify your problems, but give your power and energy to solutions. It's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, but what we do consistently. Your past does not equal your future. Where focus goes, energy flows. People are not lazy. They simply have impotent goals. That is, goals that do not inspire them. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. Action is power. The only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment. Most people fail in life because they major in minor things. Successful people ask better questions, and, as a result, they get better answers. The secret of success is learning how to use pain and pleasure. Instead of having pain and pleasure, use you. What we can or cannot do, what we consider possible or impossible, is rarely a function of our true capability. It is more likely a function of our beliefs about who we are. Life is a gift, and it offers us the privilege, opportunity, and responsibility to give something back by becoming more. The meeting of preparation with opportunity generates the offspring we call luck. For changes to be of any true value, they've got to be lasting and consistent. I challenge you to make your life a masterpiece. I challenge you to join the ranks of those people who live what they teach, who walk their talk. Every problem is a gift. Without problems, we would not grow. If you talk about it, it's a dream. If you envision it, it's possible. If you schedule it, it's real. Passion is the genesis of genius. The only thing that's keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. What you focus on till it expands. The biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams. You don't become what you want. You become what you believe. Real integrity is doing the right thing, knowing that nobody's going to know whether you did it or not. Surround yourself only with people who are going to lift you higher. The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. Breathe. Let go. And remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have to, for sure. Where there is no struggle, there is no strength. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Every time you state what you want or believe, you're the first to hear it. It's a message to both you and others about what you think is possible. Don't put a ceiling on yourself. Luck is a matter of preparation, meeting opportunity. You get in life what you have the courage to ask for. Think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. Forgiveness is letting go of the hope that the past can be changed. With every experience, you alone are painting your own canvas, thought by thought, choice by choice. Excellence is the best deterrent to racism or sexism. Self-esteem comes from being able to define the world in your own terms and refusing to abide by the judgments of others. The happiness you feel is in direct proportion to the love you give. Do the one thing you think you cannot. Do fail at it. Try again. Do better the second time. The only people who never tumble are those who never mount the high wire. Challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them. Just find a new way to stand. You are responsible for your life. You can't keep blaming somebody else for your dysfunction. Life is really about moving on. What I know for sure is that what you give comes back to you. The more you are grateful for what you have, the more you will have to be grateful for. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. You were born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. Lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24-hour days. If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. The foundation stones for a balanced success are honesty, character, integrity, faith, love, and loyalty. Success means doing the best we can with what we have. Success is the doing, not the getting. In the trying, not the triumph. Success is a personal standard, reaching for the highest that is in us, becoming all that we can be. You cannot climb the ladder of success dressed in the costume of failure. Expect the best, prepare for the worst, capitalize on what comes. If you learn from defeat, you haven't really lost. You will get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. Remember that failure is an event, not a person. The chief cause of failure and unhappiness is trading what you want most and for what you want at the moment. Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will. It's not what happens to you that determines how far you will go in life. It is how you handle what happens to you. Say, a goal properly set is halfway reached. When obstacles arise, you change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there. Outstanding people have one thing in common: an absolute sense of mission. Ability can take you to the top, but it takes character to keep you there. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. Make today worth remembering. The way you see people is the way you treat them, and the way you treat them is what they become. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. Magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Correction does much, but encouragement does more. To think is easy. To act is difficult. To act as one thinks is the most difficult of all. As soon as you trust yourself, and you will know how to live. Daring ideas are like chessmen moved forward. They may be beaten, but they may start a winning game. What is not started today is never finished tomorrow. Treat people as if they were what they ought to be, and you help them to become what they are capable of being. Everything is hard before it is easy. We are shaped and fashioned by what we love. A man sees in the world what he carries in his heart. He who enjoys doing and enjoys what he has done is happy. If I love you, what business is it of yours? One ought, every day at least, to hear a little song, read a good poem, see a fine picture, and, if it were possible, to speak a few reasonable words. Life belongs to the living, and he who lives must be prepared for changes. The greatest thing in this world is not so much where we stand, as in what direction we are moving. First we consider most people are willing to take the Sermon on the Mount as a flag to sail under, but few will use it as a rudder to steer with. A mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. I find the great thing in this world is not so much where we stand, as in what direction we are moving. To reach the port of heaven, we must sail sometimes with the wind and sometimes against it, but we must sail and not drift, nor lie at anchor. Fame is a vapor, popularity an accident, and riches take wings. Only one thing endures, and that is character. The darkest hour is just one before the dawn. Well done is better than well said. Energy and persistence conquer all things. Diligence is the mother of good luck. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Lost time is never found again. By failing to prepare it, you are preparing to fail. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. He that can have patience can have what he will. Hide not your talents, they for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning. Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. The used key is always act bright. Genius without education is like silver in the mine. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. Honesty is the best policy. Content makes poor men rich. Discontent makes rich men poor. A small leak can sink as a great ship. To err is human, to repent divine, to persist devilish. Be slow in choosing a friend, slower in changing. Employ thy time well, if thou meanest to get leisure. The doors of wisdom are never shut. The things which hurt instruct. All mankind is divided into 3 classes: those that are immovable, those that are movable, and those that move. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything. Else, love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. The Constitution only gives people the right to pursue happiness. You have to catch it yourself. A penny saved is a penny earned. If passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. Fear not death, for the sooner we die, the longer we shall be immortal. The artist is nothing without the gift, but the gift is nothing without work. If you ask me what I came to do in this world, I, an artist, will answer you. I am here to live. Out loud. The truth is on the march, and nothing will stop it. One for all, and all for one. All human wisdom is summed up in 2 words: wait and hope. Learning does not make one learned. There are those who have knowledge and those who have understanding. The first requires memories and the second philosophy. Life is a storm, my young friend. You will bask in the sunlight one moment, be shattered on the rocks the next. What makes you a man is what you do when that storm comes. Happiness is like those palaces in fairy tales whose gates are guarded by dragons. We must fight in order to conquer it. The merit of all things lies in their difficulty. For all evils, there are 2 remedies: time and silence. There is neither happiness nor misery in the world. There is only the comparison of one state with another, nothing more. It is the easiest thing in the world to deny a pleasure to oneself, but it is the hardest thing to deny it to others. When you compare the sorrows of real life to the pleasures of the imaginary one, you will never want to live again, only to dream forever. The difference between treason and patriotism is only a matter of dates. How is it that little children are so intelligent and men so stupid? It must be education that does it. A person who doubts himself is like a man who would enlist in the ranks of his enemies and bear arms against himself. What is a rebel? A man who says no. In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer. The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Just walk beside me and be my friend. Man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is. Autumn is a second spring, when every leaf is a flower. The evil that is in the world almost always comes of ignorance, and good intentions may do as much harm as malevolence if they lack understanding. Freedom is nothing but a chance to be better. You will never be happy if you continue to search for what happiness consists of. You will never live if you are looking for the meaning of life. To be happy, we must not be too concerned with others. Real generosity towards the future lies in giving all to the present. Blessed are the hearts that can bend, they shall never be broken. There is no sun without shadows, and it is essential to know the night. Seeking what is true is not seeking what is desirable. Fiction is the lie through which we tell the truth. Live to the point of tears. I would rather live my life as if there is a God and die to find out there isn't, than live as if there isn't and die to find out there is. The absurd is the essential concept and the first truth. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. That which is done out of love and is always beyond good and evil. Become what you are. Without music, life would be a mistake. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often and sometimes frightened. But no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. In every real man-child is hidden that wants to play. The surest way to corrupt a youth is to instruct him to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently. There are no beautiful surfaces without a terrible depth. Thoughts are the shadows of our feelings, always darker, emptier, and simpler. He who fights with monsters should be careful lest he thereby become a monster. And if thou gaze long into an abyss, the abyss will also gaze into thee. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. Man is something that shall be overcome. Man is a rope tied between beast and overman, a rope over an abyss. All truly great thoughts are conceived while walking. Is man merely a mistake of God's, or God merely a mistake of man's? The voice of beauty speaks softly. It creeps only into the most awakened souls. There is always some madness in love, but there is also always some reason in madness. One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. The lonely one offers his hand too quickly to whomever he encounters. To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. We have art in order, not to die of the truth. Amor fati. Love your fate, which is in fact in your life. You have your way. I have my way. As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist. No one can build you the bridge on which you and only you must cross the river of life. It is not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages. The most spiritual men, as the strongest, find their happiness where others would find their destruction. The secret for harvesting from existence the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment is to live dangerously. What is great in man is that he is a bridge and not an end. There is more wisdom in your body than in your deepest philosophy. I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and the impossible. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. The doer alone learneth. My solitude doesn't depend on the presence or absence of people. On the contrary, I hate who steals my solitude without, in exchange, offering me true company. Courage is the ladder on which all the other virtues mount. There are no hopeless situations. There are only men who have grown hopeless. About them, simplicity is the keynote of all true elegance. In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. Fashion fades. Only style remains the same. A girl should be two things: classy and fabulous. The most courageous act is still to think for yourself, aloud. Don't spend time beating on a wall and hoping to transform it into a door. Success is most often achieved by those who don't know that failure is inevitable. Elegance is refusal. My life didn't please me, so I created my life. Some people think luxury is the opposite of poverty. It is not. It is the opposite of vulgarity. The best things in life are free. The second best are very expensive. A woman who doesn't wear perfume has no future. If you're sad, add more lipstick and attack. To achieve great things, two things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time. This will be our reply to violence: to make music more intensely, more beautifully, more devotedly than ever before. A work of art does not answer questions, it provokes them, and its essential meaning is in the tension between the contradictory answers. I'm not interested in having an orchestra sound like itself. I want it to sound like the composer. The key to the mystery of a great artist is that for reasons unknown, he will give away his energies and his life just to make sure that one note follows another and leaves us with the feeling that something is right in the world. The empires of the future are the empires of the mind. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. History will be kind to me, and for I intend to write it. Never give in, never give in, never, 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 never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. The price of greatness is responsibility. Continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential. It is a mistake to try to look too far ahead. The chain of destiny can only be grasped one link at a time. You have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something. sometime in your life. Personally, I'm always ready to learn, although I do not always like being taught. Kites rise highest against the wind, not with it. The farther backward you can look, the farther forward you are likely to see. A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants down. We shall not fail or falter. We shall not weaken or tire. Give us the tools, and we will finish the job. I am an optimist. It does not seem too much use being anything else. Healthy citizens are the greatest asset any country can have. Solitary trees, if they grow at all, grow strong. The problems of victory are more agreeable than those of defeat, but they are no less difficult. If we open a quarrel between past and present, we shall find that we have lost the future. It is no use saying we are doing our best. You have got to succeed in doing what is necessary. The first wealth is health. Make the most of yourself, for that is all there is one of you. Every artist was first is an amateur. Finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities no doubt crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Do not be too timid and squeamish about your actions. All life is an experiment. Our chief want is someone who will inspire us to be what we know we could be. The reward of a thing well done is to have done it. What is a weed? A plant whose virtues have not yet been discovered. Write it on your heart that every day is the best days in the year. To be great is to be misunderstood. Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. A hero is no braver than an ordinary man, but he is brave 5 minutes longer. The ancestor of every action is a thought. Cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you, and to give thanks continuously. The desire of gold is not for gold. It is for the means of freedom and benefit. Unless you try to do something beyond what you have already mastered, you will never grow. All life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better. Nothing can bring you peace but yourself. What would life be if we had no courage and to attempt anything? I dream my painting, and then I paint my dream. Great things are done by a series of small things that are brought together. The fishermen know that the sea is dangerous and the storm terrible, but they have never found these dangers sufficient reason for remaining ashore. If you hear a voice within you say you cannot paint, then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced. I try more and more to be myself, caring relatively little whether people approve or disapprove. Normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow on it. It is good to love many things, for therein lies the true strength, and whosoever loves much performs much, and can accomplish much. And what is done in love is well done. I put my heart and my soul into my work and have lost my mind in the process. The heart of man is very much like the sea. It has its storms, it has its tides, and in its depths, it has its pearls too. I feel that there is nothing more truly artistic than to love people. There is peace, even in the storm. Exaggerate the essential, leave the obvious vague. I am seeking, I am striving, I am in it with all my heart. Be clearly aware of the stars and infinity on high. Then life seems almost enchanted after all. The way to know life is to love many things. Poetry surrounds us everywhere, but putting it on paper is, alas, not so easy as looking at it. A great fire burns within me, but no one stops to warm themselves at it, and passers-by only sees a wisp of smoke. One must work and dare if one really wants to live. The beginning is perhaps more difficult than anything else, but keep heart, it will turn out all right. Better to have a loving heart than a lifetime of regret. The best way out is always through. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. In 3 words I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes Gion. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Freedom lies in being bold. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. A poem begins in delight and ends in wisdom. Never be bullied into silence. Never allow yourself to be made a victim. Accept no one's definition of your life. Define yourself. The world breaks everyone, and afterwards some are strong at the broken places. Courage is graced under pressure. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. There is no friend as loyal, as a book. As a writer, you should not judge, you should understand why all you have to do is write one true sentence. Write the truest sentence that you know. The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. Worry a little bit every day, and in a lifetime you will lose a couple of years. If something is wrong, fix it if you can, but train yourself not to worry. Worry never fixes anything. Man is not made for defeat. A man can be destroyed, but not defeated. The shortest answer is doing the thing. Never think that war, no matter how necessary nor how justified, is not a crime. Happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing. I know. Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another. I like to listen. I have learned a great deal from listening carefully. Most people never listen. The good parts of a book may be only something a writer is lucky enough to overhear, or it may be the wreck of his whole damn life, and one is as good as the other. When people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. Write drunk, edit sober. Always do sober what you said you'd do drunk. That will teach you to keep your mouth shut. The earth is a fine place and worth fighting for. The more I see of the world, the more am I dissatisfied with it. And every day confirms my belief of the inconsistency of all human characters and of the little dependence that can be placed on the appearance of merit or sense. There is no charm equal to tenderness of heart. It isn't what we say or think that defines us, but what we do. Angry people are not always wise. Selfishness must always be forgiven, you know, because there is no hope of a cure. To be fond of dancing was a certain step towards falling in love. Friendship is certainly the finest balm for the pangs of disappointed love. The person, be it gentleman or lady, who has not pleasure in a good novel, must be intolerably stupid. Give a girl an education and introduce her properly into the world, and 10 to 1, but she has the means of settling well, without further expense to anybody. There is nothing I would not do for those who are really my friends. I have no notion of loving people by halves. It is not my nature. One cannot be always laughing at a man without now and then stumbling on something witty. Vanity and pride are different things, though the words are often used synonymously. A person may be proud without being vain. Pride relates more to our opinion of ourselves, vanity to what we would have others think of us. A large income is the best recipe for happiness I ever heard of. If I loved you less, I might be able to talk about it more. We are all fools in love. My idea of good company is the company of clever, well-informed people who have a great deal of conversation. That is what I call good company. Silly things do cease to be silly if they are done by sensible people in an impudent way. I do not want people to be very agreeable, as it saves me the trouble of liking them a great deal. Know your own happiness. You want nothing but patience, or give it a more fascinating name. Call it hope. Business, you know, may bring money, but friendship hardly ever does. To look up at the stars is to look into the past. The light we see from the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, is over 4 years old. The light from the most distant galaxies is billions of years old. When we look at the stars, we are looking at history. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. Imagination will often carry us to worlds that never were, but without it we go nowhere. For small creatures such as we, the vastness is bearable only through love. We live in a society exquisitely dependent on science and technology, in which hardly anyone knows anything about science and technology. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. The nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our apple pies were made in the interiors of collapsing stars. We are made of star stuff. Science is a way of thinking much more than it is a body of knowledge. Extraordinary claims require as extraordinary evidence. It is far better to grasp the universe as it really is than to persist in delusion, however satisfying and reassuring. The universe is not required to be in perfect harmony with human ambition. If you wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe. We are like butterflies who flutter for a day and think it is forever. The beauty of a living thing is not the atoms that go into it, but the way those atoms are put together. Every one of us is, in the cosmic perspective, precious. If a human disagrees with you, let him live. In 100 billion galaxies, you will not find another. The exploration of the cosmos is a voyage of self-discovery. Books are like seeds. They can lie dormant for centuries and then flower in the most unpromising soil. Skeptical scrutiny is the means in both science and religion by which deep thoughts can be winnowed from deep nonsense. Understanding is a kind of ecstasy. A book is proof that humans are capable of working at magic. If it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. In science, it often happens that scientists say, "You know, that's a really good argument. My position is mistaken." And then they would actually change their minds and you never hear that old view from them again. They really do it. It doesn't happen as often as it should because scientists are human and change is sometimes painful. But it happens every day. I cannot recall the last time something like that happened in politics or religion. We make our world significant by the courage of our questions and the depth of our answers. It is said that an argument is what convinces reasonable men, and a proof is what it takes to convince even an unreasonable man. The cure for a fallacious argument is a better argument, not the suppression of ideas. I don't want to believe, I guess I want to know. The suppression of uncomfortable ideas may be common in religion and politics, but it is not the path to knowledge. It has no place in the endeavor of science. The only stupid question is the one that is not asked. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the universe. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. A ship is always safe at shore, but that is not what it's built for. great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. Weak people revenge. Strong people forgive. Intelligent people ignore. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. The difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. Once you stop learning and you start dying, everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. The value of a man should be seen in what he gives, and not in what he is able to receive. A happy man is too satisfied with the present to dwell too much on the future. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. Logic will get you from A to Z. Imagination will get you everywhere. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, and you must keep moving. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. Blind belief in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. The world always seems brighter when you've just made something that wasn't there before. Go and make interesting mistakes, make amazing mistakes, make glorious and fantastic mistakes, break rules. Leave the world more interesting for your being here. Whatever it is you're scared of doing, do it. Make your mistakes next year and forever. I hope you will have a wonderful year, that you'll dream dangerously and outrageously, that you'll make something that didn't exist before you made it, that you will be loved, and that you will be liked, and that you will have people to love and to like in return, and most importantly, that you will, when you need to be wise, and that you will always be kind. Sometimes the questions are complicated, and the answers are simple. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. Today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Why fit in when you were born to stand out? Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So, get on your way. Think left and think right and think low and think high. Oh, the things you can think up, as if only you try. It's not about what it is. It's about what it can become. Adults are just obsolete children, and the hell with them. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Fantasy is a necessary ingredient in living. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. Yours from there to here, from here to there. Funny things are everywhere. Only you can control your future. A person's a person, no matter how small. I like nonsense. It wakes up the brain cells. To the world, you may be one person, but to one person you may be the world. Things may happen, and often do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. So be sure when you step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. Kid, you'll move mountains. You do not find the happy life, you make it. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. To every action there is always opposed at an equal reaction. What we know is a drop. What we don't know is an ocean. Tact is the art of making a point without making an enemy. If I have done the public any service, it is due to my patient thought. Truth is ever to be found in simplicity, and not in the multiplicity and confusion of things. A man may imagine things that are false, but he can only understand things that are true. No great discovery was ever made without a bold guess. Gravity explains the motions of the planets, but it cannot explain who sets the planets in motion. Live your life as an exclamation rather than an explanation. I can calculate the motion of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. My powers are ordinary. Only my application brings me success. We build too many walls and not enough bridges. If I am anything, which I highly doubt, I have made myself so by hard work. Plato is my friend, Aristotle is my friend, but my greatest friend is truth. About the time of the end, a body of men will be raised up who will turn their attention to the prophecies and insist upon their literal interpretation. In the midst of much clamor and opposition, the best way to understanding it is a few good examples. Errors are not in the art, but in the artificers. The poetry of the earth is never dead. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Nothing ever becomes real till it is experienced. I am certain of nothing but the holiness of the heart's affections and the truth of imagination. Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Do you not see how necessary a world of pains and troubles is to school an intelligence, and make it a soul? Beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know. The only means of strengthening one's intellect is to make up one's mind about nothing, to let the mind be a thoroughfare for all thoughts. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Keep your face to the sunshine, and you cannot see a shadow. Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. The highest result of education is tolerance. Walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. What I am looking for is not out there, it is in me. Security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Never bend your head, always hold it high. Look the world straight in the eye. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight, but no vision. Knowledge is love and light and vision. No pessimist ever discovered the secret of the stars, or sailed to an uncharted land, or opened a new heaven to the human spirit. We could never learn to be brave and patient if there were only joy in the world. The world is moved not only by the mighty shoves of the heroes, but also by the aggregate of the tiny pushes of each honest worker. Self-pity is our worst enemy, and if we yield to it, we can never do anything wise in this world. It is a terrible thing to see and have no vision. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. The supreme happiness of life is the conviction that we are loved. Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. To learn to read is to light a fire. Every syllable that is spelled out is a spark. Music expresses that which cannot be put into words, and that which cannot remain silent. Laughter is the sun that drives winter from the human face. Perseverance, secret of all triumphs. There is nothing like a dream to create the future. An intelligent hell would be better than a stupid paradise. Initiative is doing the right thing without being told. The greatest happiness of life is the conviction that we are loved. Loved for ourselves, or rather, loved in spite of ourselves. Be like the bird who, pausing in her flight a while on boughs too slight, feels them give way beneath her, and yet sings. Knowing she hath wings, change your opinions, keep to your principles, change your leaves, keep intact your roots. Concision in style, precision in thought, decision in life. What makes night within us may leave stars. He who opens a school door closes a prison. Not being heard is no reason for silence. Curiosity is one of the permanent and certain characteristics of a vigorous intellect. The future is purchased as by the present. Great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. What is written without effort is in general read without pleasure. The true measure of a man is how he treats someone who can do him absolutely no good. Knowledge is of two kinds. We know a subject ourselves, or we know where we can find information upon it. It is better to suffer wrong than to do it, and happier to be sometimes cheated than not to trust. Kindness is in our power even when fondness is not. Hope is itself a species of happiness, and perhaps the chief happiness which this world affords. Courage is the greatest of all virtues, because if you haven't courage, you may not have an opportunity to use any of the others. To be happy at home is the ultimate result of all ambition. Self-confidence is the first requisite to great undertakings. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. If you love a flower, don't pick it up, because if you pick it up, it dies and it ceases to be what you love. So if you love a flower, let it be. Love is not about possession. Love is about appreciation. The person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person who is doing it. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. The man who has confidence in himself gains the confidence of others. Remember that not getting what you want is sometimes a wonderful stroke of luck. Do what you can with all you have, wherever you are. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. You will succeed because most people are lazy. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. We generate fears. While we sit, we overcome them by action. Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the water to create many ripples. Learn to be calm and you will always be happy. If you are free, you need to free somebody else. If you have some power, then your job is to empower somebody else. Don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them. Champions keep playing us until they get it right. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Just don't give up trying to do what you really want to do. Where there is love and inspiration, I don't think you can go wrong. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. Winning is not a sometime thing, it's an all-the-time thing. You become what you believe. How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do. There is no substitute for hard work. Great things come from hard work and perseverance. No excuses. The best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. Don't wait for good things to happen to you. If you go out and make some good things happen, you will fill the world with hope. You will fill yourself with hope. That's one. Small step for a man, a giant leap for mankind. Rome wasn't built in a day. Start before you're ready. Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself. Either you run the day, or the day runs you. Success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome. Your most important investment is in yourself. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. Life is short, and it is here to be lived. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Successful people. Do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. If you love what you do and are willing to do what it takes, it's within your reach. And it'll be worth every minute you spend alone at night, thinking and thinking about what it is you want to design or build. Dream big and dare to fail. Don't limit your challenges. Challenge your limits. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. The harder you work for something, the greater you'll feel when you achieve it. Push yourself out because no one else is going to do it for you. Sometimes we're tested not to show our weaknesses, but to discover our strengths. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Wake up with determination, go to bed with satisfaction. Little things make big days. It's going to be hard, but hard does not mean impossible. Don't wait for opportunity, create it. Great things never come from comfort zones. Dream it, wish it, do it. Success doesn't just find you. You have to go out and get it. The key to success is to focus our conscious mind on things we desire, not things we fear. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. Success is not in what you have, but who you are. The secret of success is to do the common thing uncommonly well. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. Never give up, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. Act as if it were impossible to fail. Don't be afraid to give up the good, to go for the great. All progress takes place outside the comfort zone. If you want something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. Success doesn't come to you. You go to it. Great minds have purposes. Others have wishes. Don't count the days, make the days count. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. If you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to help them build theirs. If you want to fly, you have to give up the things that weigh you down. What you do today can improve all your tomorrows. Don't be afraid to start over. It's a chance to build something better this time. You are confined only by the walls. You build yourself. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. Don't let small minds convince you that your dreams are too big. You are capable of amazing things. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. You are stronger than you think. Don't let anyone ever dull your sparkle. Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. You don't have to control your thoughts, as you just have to stop letting them control you. Your limitation, it's only your imagination. Sometimes later becomes never. Do it now. Dream bigger. Do bigger. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. Difficulties in life are intended to make us better, not bitter. The only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond them, into the impossible. If you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit. The only thing that overcomes hard luck is hard work. Success is not measured by what you accomplish, but by the opposition you have encountered. and the courage with which you have maintained the struggle against overwhelming odds. You are the artist of your own life. Don't hand the paintbrush to anyone else. It's not about how bad you want it. It's about how hard you're willing to work for it. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. The difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you do. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start being excited about what could go right. Even when you feel like quitting, and think about why you started. You can't have $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. Success is not for the chosen few, but for the few who choose it. Don't be discouraged. It's often the last key in the bunch that opens the lock. The best view comes after the hardest climb. The only time you fail is when you fall down and stay down. Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. You are capable of more than you know. The only person you should try to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Success is not the absence of failure. It's the persistence through failure. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. You have to be at your strongest, and when you're feeling at your weakest, you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Don't stop until you're proud. If you believe in yourself, anything is possible. The best way to get things done is to simply begin. Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to try. You are the only one who can limit your greatness. Don't let what you can't do stop you from doing what you can do. The best way to succeed is to double your failure rate. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. You can't have a positive life and a negative mind. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations.